Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing God of War 2 on Titan difficulty. This is my no upgrade run. I haven't done commentaries for a couple of weeks now, guys. The first reason of which was because I was sick for a week, and the second reason is because this installment the 9th, the protected translator section, well, let me just put it this way, and I need to catch my breath for a second here because there's just... I feel like I need to take a shot of alcohol after what I just did. Lacking that, though, I've got some 7-Up and some Percocet here, so that's the only thing that I know what to do right now because, guys, I'm not going to talk about this fight because it's just pointless. In the next fight, I'll maybe talk about something, but I've got to preface this video with saying a few things because remember the last time when I was doing the Pain Plus guide and I was talking about how long it took me to take down Ureli, and I mentioned it was 20 hours? Well, guess how long this took to do the Protect the Translator section? 30? 30 hours? 40? 50? 60, man? 70? 80? No, it couldn't have took you longer than 80 hours to do this shit. 100 hours? 92 fucking hours logged on the protected translator section. And I'm completely fucking floored that it was so difficult. And I had no idea that the no upgrade run would be so difficult, but guys, I'm telling you, Pain Plus, it's just fucking out of the question. No upgrade run, it's almost impossible. I did it one time out of 92 goddamn fucking hours, and I was looking everywhere for advice about how to do this because I always like to kind of prod at people, like when I know people are desperate, when people are, you know, like gluttonous people, when they become desperate, I always like to kick them when they're down because I don't have any respect for those type of those type of wholesale pigs out there that just devour and want to be entertained and all that shit, like I've been talking about before, and you know, like the rushers of guides and things like that. But I was desperate this time, and for this translator section, you have to content yourself with the fact that there are no answers for this part. It's completely luck-based, and if anyone tells you that it's not, they're lying or they're really good. I made the mistake of thinking that what Shinobi did in his video for the Pain Plus run was somehow you can emulate it or something like that, and I have to give that guy all the credit in the world because he's probably the best God of War player I've ever seen. But I fell into the mistaken trap of thinking that I can emulate the things that this guy did, and it's just not possible. And one of the reasons I hate this game so much now is because of this part. It completely mars a masterpiece, and one of the reasons that I love God of War 3 so much is that it's really tailored for no upgrade runs and pain runs, unlike this game, which, God help you if you're trying to do a no upgrade run, because if you have low weapons, like, you know, low magic that hasn't been upgraded, it's not really about your health too much, although I think I was begging for health at the end of this section coming up. Yeah, I was begging for health. It's about keeping this dipstick piece of shit alive long enough to win the section, and he's a little coward. His dirt-filled ass has to be protected, and it's a shame. It's an escort mission in the vein of the one that preceded it in the last game at the end of the game, and it has no business being in this game. It's an absolute mess. It's an atrocity. And I suffered for it, and I was going to delete this project dozens of times, guys. Dozens of times I went onto my channel, selected all the videos for this project, and just hovered my finger over the delete button, but I never did it, and I'm glad that I didn't. But it came at a big price, because it's a good feeling at the end of the day, but it's so much hassle to do this shit. But anyway, this room is actually not that bad. On Pain Plus, it's a living nightmare. But we're not doing Pain Plus, so it's not that bad. And coming back to this, so there's a bit of history to the Protect the Translator section, guys. And by the way, you don't need to grab the crank handle until the end. So you don't need to grab it at the beginning. Just wait until you've killed everything, and then you can go around looting. But a couple of years ago, the Protect the Translator section ended my no upgrade run attempt, and then a couple of months ago, I started the Pain Plus run, and that did have to be canceled. And so I tried to resume the project with the no upgrade run plus conditions, and I thought it would be a breeze. I thought it would be a literal breeze, having rage, having the ability to parry, having magic. And it's very helpful. I'm not ungrateful, but it's just, it wasn't the huge advantage I thought it would be. I thought I would do it on my first couple of tries, and then 40-50 hours later. This is a nightmare too. I hate this room. One of the lamest rooms in the game. And I kept vacillating on what magic to use. I was using Atlas's Quake, I was using Cronus's Rage. And at the end of the day, it just came back to Cronus's Rage. Atlas's Quake is more damaging, it's a little more costly to use as far as how much of your mana will drain out of your bar when used. But the ability to stun enemies is indispensable. And one time I did upgrade my Cronus's Rage to level 3 just to see how much easier it would be. I didn't do it, but I did upgrade off camera. I was curious. I wanted to see Cronus's Rage at level 3. And if you have Cronus's Rage up to level 3, it's significantly easier. I wasn't able to complete it. I got my ass kicked, but I could easily tell that it's just very helpful to have that ability to stun enemies so much and have those explosive cores detonate and things like that. Okay. So we're going to be doing that part in a minute. So it's the biggest offense about this part is that there's no checkpoint. It blows my fucking mind that there's no checkpoint. If there was a checkpoint on the third phase, I don't think I would have any grievance against this part, but you have to continually do the first two easy waves, easy, tedious, fucking tedious waves over and over and over again. And there is a way to artificially make a checkpoint for yourself, but if I have to do that, then I might as well just scrap the project, because that's cheating, and that's being a fucking pansy. I'm not doing that. No way in hell. You know, I don't like this particular little thing they have you do here, flying over the gate. It doesn't work very well when I do it, but and the rage attack is not really what it's cracked up to be either. I was using the rage a little bit, but it's mostly parrying. And okay, so what else is the problem with this aside from no checkpoint? It's the collision damage that the translator suffers when you throw things in his direction. If you throw anything in his direction, he loses 90% of his health. 90% of his health. He's affected by collision. It's one of the ironies of this, because I've been talking so much about collision and how crucial it is to winning on these runs, and here we are at the crossroads here of probably, I don't think I've ever done anything as hard as this. I don't think anything has ever taken me over 90 hours to do. Maybe the Vanquish final bosses, but I never was able to do that. I probably didn't spend 90 hours doing it, maybe 75 trying to take down the Vanquish bosses. But anyway, we're going to be taking this block down, and it is important where this block ends up next to the translator, because where it ends up is going to be the area where you're going to have to move it every time. So this is what I would do here. They checkpoint it when you get up here a little bit, and then they also checkpoint it when you get next to the translator. So what you want to do is try to kick it like to up here, and then do a full kick and make sure it lands somewhere around him, just so that you don't have to push it or pull it back too many, or too far or too close next time. But here it is. You're gonna pick up his, like I said, his dirt-filled ass, and then you're gonna move up here, and that's going to be the checkpoint area. I'm sorry about the crudity of that edit, guys. And just drop his shitty ass right there. And on waves 1 and 2, it has nothing to do with protecting the translator, because all we're going to do is kick these dogs at these guys and then just take these guys out. This may have been one of the messy takes, and I said to myself, whatever 2 waves precede the 3rd wave, I'm going to include that. It's going to be whatever happens up to the translator in phase 3. I'm not going to like edit any wonderful, pristine, like no damage footage together. Just whatever happens here happens. And I'm also playing some more sloppy here because I know that there's a couple of chests back there that I can pick up. So we're going to pick this shitty bitch up and then move up here. And the spawn point for these guys is right about there. So circle back, and we're going to put him behind the block, and then they'll never be able to hit him. So on this wave, you've got Fate's Guardians, just like we had in phase 1. So yeah, drop his dirt-filled ass right there. Jump on the block if you can, and then just jump over these guys. And then we're going to be taking out the foes here. So ideally, what you want to do is light heavy to bounce these Fate's Guardians. And if they ever approach the translator here, they can't even do anything to him, so don't even worry about it. All we're doing here is just more tedium. Like, if you knew how many times I did these parts here, like, see that they can't do anything to him. They'll never go around. But the crucial thing here is just don't. Try not to ever throw anything at the translator. It's, you know, if the collision just didn't affect him, it would be so nice. And he's in a really awkward position too. I'll show you in the next phase. But what you really want to do here, you can use magic if you want, but it's actually faster to bounce these guys and then chain bounce them, and then have that hit the satyr. There's no health here aside from that chest. If you spar with the satyr to the point of death, you will get a drop of health. Like if you do a final sparring match and then that kills him on the ground, you'll get like I say, a drop of health. It's not anything to speak of, but I did want to point it out. And that's a common move that he does there. Okay, so I'm losing health, so I'm going to drop Cronus' Rage. This is on level 1, so it's not doing very much of anything. You could tell it's on level 1 because it would have like a blue circle the more you upgraded. Is this the part where I kind of like really slowly walk away from this asshole? Nah, I was toying with him on another take because I was frustrated. We're gonna pick these chests up. Yes, we can open chests because this is not a Pain Plus run, and we're gonna refill on our health and magic. I was under serious debate about what move, like what do I first do when I get into this room. I saw a bunch of footage on YouTube. There isn't much consensus. It's you have to go after these summoners. There's about 3 or 4 of them, and they don't spawn the dogs and the guardians to jump over the rail, but they do spawn more of them, and it gets into this huge shit show of they never stop spawning these enemies. So what you're gonna have to do is take out the summoners. And I did not know that this enemy was such a bitchy enemy, but they really are bitchy. They've got a bunch of moves that stack you, and they steal your magic, and obviously they summon. Okay, so that wave is done, and now we're gonna move him up. So what I found to do, like at my last wits over here, is to not instigate a sparring match with the summoner at first, because it just takes too long, and then by the time you're out of the sparring match, enemies are already overriding the translator. So just have him drop, and then go up to this guy, stun him with the Kronos' Rage, and then start kicking the dogs. Ideally, you want to kick the dog at the summoner. And then what I do is I go to town with the Rage, and anytime that the summoner gets close, I drop the magic. Now, the Atlas Quake is going to damage him more, but it's really the collision of the dogs and the Guardians that's going to make the summoners get killed. But you've got this animation which drains time and can potentially kill you, and then you've also got any enemy. See, it's really awkward because the guys to the right, if you throw dogs, like they'll hit the summoner or the translator, and you, like at this point it would be over if I threw something and it hit him. So what I do, you can also parry that ball, which I did right there, and it's basically just continually parrying and throwing dogs and the Guardians at the summoner. The parry is so indispensable here. See this? It was a miracle that that dog didn't hit the summoner right there. And this got so adrenaline heavy here, guys. It was, I think I came down to my last bit of health. And see, there's summoners out of the view of the camera here, but if I leave this area to go focus on them, they all attack this guy. So it's one of those things where there's no answers here, guys. You have to just do this and have whatever happens here happens. Like, I could tell you some basic things to do and look out for, but whatever is going to happen, it's going to happen, you know, differently to you. So I grabbed this guy. That may have been I think that was an accident, grabbing him. These guys are approaching, so I'm going to make sure that I defend myself a little bit up here. I have the feeling here that there's nobody jumping over the rail, so I'm getting pretty excited here. I'm out of magic. I have a little bit of rage here, so I'm going to depend on the Golden Fleece. And I'm going to, you fucking asshole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to defend the translator as much as I can. And I'm going to try to do, like, plumes. That was the only super plume I did right there. And I'm just going to defend my position here. I grabbed him because, ooh, that was a nice kill right there. And when you kill these guys, you get a bit more magic, so you can use that on the fly. And look, he summoned more guys. And the idea here is to grab the summoner when he's chanting, so he can't commit to his summon. Oh, you fucking dick. Oh my god, like, I told you they're fucking dicks, man. But that's what they do. And I've got the translator a pretty good life, but anything that goes awry here, it's all screwed. So I'm depending. Oh god, look at this. Look at this. Oh, see, that hit the translator. And don't ever step in that too. That staggers you and takes massive damage off you. So all I'm really doing here is I'm trying to stay close to the translator and guard, parry, and do this. And anytime I get a little bit brazen, I'll grab guys and throw them in people. But I want to make sure that nobody ever gets thrown at the translator, because I would have failed. Look at my life. God. And fortunately, these guys aren't blocking too much. And I don't know, I have no idea how many summoners are left. The camera widened a little bit there because I moved out of the way. Oh, bitch. That would have ended me right there. That was a good parry. That was good, but that would have ended me. Oh, he's chanting. He's chanting more guys. Like, look at... And he's dead somehow. I can't express how hard this is, guys. And then he's coming a little bit close. I got him to the circle prompt. Oh, don't you come near the translator, man. Oh, and the translator somehow took damage. I'll have to rewatch that and see how the fuck that happened, but I have no clue how the translator took damage there. Holy shit. Is this guy the last guy? I think I'm going to do the triangle execution here, and I never thought I would see that wall go down. Never. Okay, guys, so that's not pain plus. It's not pain. It's a no upgrade run. But I'm telling you guys, I've never done something as difficult as that. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I had a huge problem that you might not have. But I feel sorry for anybody who has to do that. I really do.
I cannot do it.
So yeah, that's been Installment the 9th. This was really fun. Like, you don't know how badly I was shaking. I didn't know whether to cry or not here. I was about to cry. And it sounds funny and overly dramatic, but when you're sitting in a chair for so long without any hope and not knowing what to do, if you should just delete the project and move on to something else, and feeling that dash to your pride of failure nonstop, I just don't like anything like that where it's almost completely out of your hands. And just so much random chaos that it's so hard to exert control over. So now we're going to be moving on back here the way we came before. We were even in the auditorium of Love Kessis. And I think I'm going to take a wrong turn here, but I'll rectify it very quickly. And then we're going to head on back to the save point. And that's going to have to be the end of the video because it was just too much emotions. Just way too difficult. I had never done anything that fucking hard. Jesus goddamn Christ.